And let's finish Polish Kates from My War with the United States. Ludwig, who is called Luddy in this chapter, is with Eddie, and they are at Polish Kates, which is a whorehouse. And Ludwig is explaining the noises that he hears and how things are decorated. And again, this choice of book is just to give you a nonfiction portrayal of what being... Remember, he's 18 years old. This is what it would be like for an immigrant teenager in the United States who was in the Army 100 years ago. So let's continue. This is a conversation that he's hearing through the walls. He knows I'm sitting here boiling. Let's not spoil the whole thing, I said to him. It's the thing that counts. You're up against the stone wall, I said to him. You know what a stone wall is. It's not fair for a guy like that to go to a girl that's been brought up in the church and say, "Who is God? How do you know it's true?" A guy like him that's been practicing atheism for years. Well, honey, you wanted Steve. Here's Steve. I'm on my way, I told her. I thought she'd soften up. Women like her soften up sometimes, but not that one. All right, I said, if you don't believe me, maybe you'll believe my lawyer. Oh, gee, Joe, don't laugh. It ain't funny a bit. Not for me, it isn't. All this time, Julie had been looking at me, and at the loud parts of the lament next door, making grimaces of sorrow, amusement, and mock anger. This goes on all the time, she said. She had been holding my hand all the while, and abruptly she says, Do something for me, will you? And when I ask her what, she says, Kiss me. I never kiss anyone. Her body is young and firm, her back with the contour of the spine, the shoulder blades and the pelvis of finest modeling, her abdomen, the armpits, the inside of elbows, soft and without fault. I have always thought that such a life would be a waste of beauty. Why don't you put a shade on the lamp? I asked her, as if I had known her all my life. The Chislers wouldn't take it right along. They take everything when they're drunk. Oh, the Chislers would take it right along. They take everything when they're drunk. We had a beautiful standing lamp down in the hall. A guy walked right out with it the first night. There was a kid here a week ago. He didn't like the light either. He took his socks off, blue they were, and pulled one over the light. But it got hot and went on fire. The time we had, the room was full of smoke. We had to laugh at this. Look, what I can do, said Julie, and stood on her head on the bed. Why do you do that? I asked. Oh, I don't know, she said. Just for fun. And look, she pointed at her toes and spread them like two fans. After this, I have to sit up and laugh, and nothing can happen. It is strange that this business of love demands solemnity. One cannot do anything with it laughing. It has, I think, something to do with breathing or nerves. It needs absolute concentration. Ever since Julie has been funny and wiggled her toes, everything is impossible. She buttons me up and kisses me again. Here's your money, she said, and pushed it into my pocket. Come down with me. I'll make you some coffee. There is a bent and twisted stairway down the back of the house, and in the basement is a room with an oven in it, and in a crib a little baby that belongs to the stout-colored clean-up woman. Two girls sit and look at it and point their lips and follow its eyes with their faces. It is very, very young, with fingernails the size of a grain of rice. Over the tiny face wander trembling changes, a wide grin from ear to ear, then with great effort and clenched fists, the face of scorn and suspicion. The little pale eyes wander in a wide arc and try to look around two corners. When it has done this, after an undecided pause, the lower lip quivers and falls away in a bitter, helpless cry. It was well comforted, one of the women carried it back and forth. The other walked along, up and down, and spoke to it softly. There is also a man with his hat on and a wardrobe trunk full of exquisite evening dresses. They come from New York, from debutantes and society women. He tells with each dress the name of the lady who owned it, and of course each name is one that everybody knows. Now I know where the lovely emerald one comes from. Eddie comes down and asks me how it was. He has to go home to the farm, and I am going to get a room at the YMCA and take a train the next day to New York. In back of the house is a stable in which the old horse made the bumpy drum noises as it changed its position. I go into him. His stable smells sweet, and the horse is plain and strong with flaxen hair. I have an excuse to go back to the house for Sugar. I want to hear her voice once more, to see if it is so lovely, if her hair and her eyes are what I saw before. She is all that. And that is the end of Polish Kates.